My dear brothers and sisters, life is never free of trials. Every single one of us will taste hardship. It comes in different forms, sometimes through our health, sometimes in our wealth, sometimes through our family, our relationships, our careers, or even through the whispers in our own hearts. But as Muslims, we know that these challenges are not without purpose. Allah never burdens a soul without wisdom, and every test that comes your way is not meant to break you, but to raise you. The reality is, this life was never meant to be paradise. If it were, there would be no illness, no poverty, no injustice, no sadness. But Allah, in His infinite mercy, has reserved paradise for the believers in the next life, and He uses the difficulties of this life to prepare us for it. When you face trials, remember that Allah is not punishing you. He is testing you, shaping you, and giving you the chance to prove yourself before Him. Think about it. If you were never tested with loss, how would you ever develop patience? If you were never tested with poverty, how would you ever appreciate wealth? If you were never tested with heartbreak, how would you ever taste the sweetness of healing? Every difficulty carries within it a gift, a lesson, and an opportunity to rise higher in the sight of Allah. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most beautiful truths of our faith is that the people closest to Allah were the most tested. The prophets, who were the most beloved to Allah, went through hardships that most of us cannot even imagine. Yet they never lost hope, they never lost trust, and they never thought that Allah had abandoned them. Instead, they knew that every test was a sign of His love and an invitation to grow stronger in faith. So when you go through struggles, don't fall into despair. Don't ask, why me? Instead ask, what is Allah teaching me? How is He raising me through this? Because the same trial that can make one person lose faith can make another person a saint. It all depends on how you respond. Trials are mirrors, my dear brothers and sisters. They show us who we really are. When life is easy, it's easy to say we believe, it's easy to pray, it's easy to be kind. But when life becomes heavy, when you lose your job, when sickness strikes, when the people you trusted hurt you, that's when your faith is truly tested, and Allah wants to see, will you hold on to Him or will you let go? Remember that when Allah takes something from you, He is not closing a door to hurt you, He is redirecting you towards something greater. Sometimes you don't realize the wisdom of the test until years later, but in that moment your job is to trust. Trust that the author of your story knows where your journey must go. Trust that the one who sees what is hidden in your heart also sees what lies ahead. You see, my brothers and sisters, every single hardship is a form of purification. Just like gold is purified through fire, your soul is purified through trials. The pain you feel, the tears you shed, the nights you spend restless, they are all washing away sins you may not even know you committed. They are lifting your rank in the sight of Allah in ways your good deeds alone could not. Some people will meet Allah on the day of judgment with mountains of reward, not because they prayed the most or gave the most charity, but because they endured patiently the hardships that came their way. And here is something so comforting. Allah never tests you beyond what you can bear. What feels unbearable to you is still within your capacity, because the one who designed you knows your strength better than you do. You might think you are breaking, but Allah knows you are bending. You might think you are at your limit, but Allah knows you can endure a little more. He is building in you a resilience that you will thank Him for later. Brothers and sisters, let us be clear, being tested doesn't mean Allah is angry with you. Too often, when things go wrong, we assume Allah is punishing us. But the truth is, a test is often a sign of His love. He tests those He loves because He wants them to grow closer to Him. He wants them to be purified so they can meet Him with hearts that are clean. Imagine a gardener trimming a tree. To the tree, it feels like loss, like pain. But the gardener knows that by cutting away, he is making space for stronger branches to grow. That is how Allah deals with us through our tests, and in those moments of hardship, you have a choice. You can either run away from Allah or run to Him. You can either complain endlessly about the difficulty, or you can turn it into a conversation with your Lord. The ones who are successful are those who use their struggles as a ladder to climb higher toward Allah, not as a wall to block themselves from him. When you are tested, remember the power of dua. Your dua during hardship is not like any other dua. It comes from the depths of your heart. It carries the weight of your tears, your fears, and your longing. And Allah promises that He is close to the broken-hearted. Sometimes the very test you are going through is Allah's way of bringing you back to Him, so that you can rediscover the sweetness of calling upon Him sincerely. And let us not forget gratitude even in trials. Gratitude is not only for when life is good. Gratitude is most powerful when life is hard. To say, Alhamdulillah, in times of blessing is natural, but to say, Alhamdulillah, in times of pain, that is faith. That is what transforms a test into a treasure, because you are acknowledging that even in loss there is wisdom, even in difficulty there is mercy. Dear brothers and sisters, one day all of this will make sense. Every sleepless night, every tear, every struggle, every unanswered question. On the day of judgment, Allah will show you how it was all part of a plan more beautiful than you could imagine. And when you see the reward, when you see how your patience turned into light, when you see how your trust turned into paradise, you will wish you had endured even more. So the next time life feels heavy, remind yourself, Allah is testing me, not to destroy me, but to raise me. This is not the end of my story, this is the beginning of a new chapter. This pain will pass, this struggle will ease, but the reward I earn through it will last forever. Let us hold on to hope, let us hold on to patience, let us hold on to Allah. Because no matter how dark the night, the dawn always comes, and no matter how hard the test, the reward of those who endure is beyond imagination. The tests in your life are not signs that Allah has abandoned you. They are not evidence that you are unloved or forgotten. Rather, they are signs that Allah has chosen you for something greater than you may be able to see in the moment. Many times when a person faces difficulty, they immediately think they are being punished or rejected, but in reality what is happening is that Allah is drawing them closer, shaping them, and raising them in a way they may not understand yet. When you are tested, you are being selected, not neglected. The hardships you face are not random accidents. They are carefully placed moments in your life to bring out the best in you and to allow your soul to grow in ways comfort never could. Think about the ones who were most beloved to Allah. They were not people who lived in constant ease and luxury. The most beloved of all, the prophets, endured pain, rejection, loss, and immense trials. They were driven out of their homes. They were tested with poverty, with betrayal, with grief that would break the hearts of ordinary men. And yet, they were chosen for these trials precisely because of their closeness to Allah. This shows us something profound. The weight of your test can be a reflection of the weight of your worth in the sight of Allah. If He has placed something heavy on your shoulders, it is because He knows your heart can carry it, and because He wants to elevate you through it. When you face difficulty, it is easy to see only the pain and the struggle, but Allah sees beyond the moment. He sees the strength that will grow in you. He sees the reward that will be written for you. He sees the patience that will polish your heart. Trials are opportunities dressed as challenges. They are ways for you to show trust in Allah when trusting feels hardest. They are ways for you to stay patient when your patience feels thin. And every time you endure, every time you hold on, every time you choose to turn to Allah instead of turning away, you are rising in His sight. These tests are acts of love because they purify you. They cleanse your heart from arrogance. They wash away sins you may not even realize you carried. They remind you of your need for Allah when you may have started to forget. Sometimes comfort can distance us from our Creator, but hardship has a way of bringing us back on our knees in sincere prayer. It humbles us, it strips away illusions, and it teaches us that we are nothing without His mercy and strength. That is why your trial is a gift, even if it feels like a burden, because it is reshaping your soul and reconnecting you with the one who matters most. Every hardship you face is a divine invitation. It is an invitation to lean on Allah more than ever before, to trust Him more deeply than you have before, to discover patience you didn't know you had, and to taste faith in a more powerful way than you could in times of ease. It is Allah's way of saying, I want you closer to me, I want you to rise above your limits, I want you to meet me with a heart that is purified. So when you go through challenges, don't let them break you, let them build you. Don't think of them as barriers, think of them as bridges. Every tear you shed, every moment you endure, every breath you take while still holding on to hope is a step closer to Allah's mercy. It is a proof that you are stronger than you think, because the one who created you knows your strength better than you do. If He has placed you in this trial, it is because He knows you can emerge from it with faith shining brighter than before. The more you are tested, the more you are loved, because through your patience, through your trust, and through your perseverance, your rank with Allah is being raised to levels you could never reach without those trials. What feels like breaking is really reshaping. What feels like loss is really preparation, and what feels like hardship is really love in disguise. Trust that your Lord would never put you through something except that it will end in goodness for you, in this world or the next. So hold firm, have faith, and know that every hardship is not the closing of a door, but the opening of a higher path. It is Allah loving you enough to polish your heart, to strengthen your soul, and to prepare you for blessings greater than you can imagine. What you go through in this life is never wasted. Every moment of pain, every sleepless night, every hardship you endure for the sake of Allah is written down with Him. Nothing you suffer is lost. Nothing you experience in patience disappears without meaning. Allah is so merciful that He turns every struggle into a source of reward, every difficulty into a ladder that raises you higher, every sacrifice into a light that will shine for you on the day when you need it most. What may feel unbearable today, what may seem endless right now, is being transformed into mountains of reward that will astonish you when you stand before Allah. Imagine a person who spends their nights in tears, who wrestles with worries, who struggles with burdens that no one else sees. On the outside, it may look like they are simply suffering, but in the sight of Allah they are rising. Every sigh is heard, every tear is counted, every silent moment of endurance is being transformed into reward that will outlive this world. Patience is never passive, it is an active form of worship. When you choose to remain firm, when you choose not to let hardship strip away your faith, you are engaging in one of the greatest acts of devotion, and Allah promises a reward without measure for those who are patient. This life is fleeting, temporary, and limited. Its difficulties may feel heavy, but they do not last forever. What lasts forever is the outcome of how you respond to those difficulties. Think about it. The pain you feel today will one day pass, the wound will one day heal, but the record of your patience will remain written in your book of deeds. On the day of judgment, you will see those moments turned into light, into ease, into blessings that far outweigh the burden you carried in this world. Allah in His wisdom allows trials not to crush you, but to compensate you with rewards that could not be earned in any other way. There are people who will stand before Him with unimaginable honor, not because they prayed more than everyone else or gave more than everyone else, but because they endured hardships with faith and trust. Their trials became their greatest blessings. Their struggles became their ticket to paradise. The person who lost loved ones but continued to praise Allah, the person who suffered illness but remained grateful, the person who lived with poverty but held on to hope. These are the ones who will be elevated on the day of judgment, their patience shining like a crown. Think about how Allah describes the reward of patience. It is not counted like other rewards. It is not limited to a certain number. It is described as without measure. That means the patience you show in your darkest moments is beyond calculation. It is a form of worship that Allah Himself will reward in ways you cannot imagine. When you endure a test, when you refuse to let it pull you away from your Creator, you are building an eternal fortune that no one can take from you. So, the struggle you are facing right now is not meaningless. The nights you spend questioning, the days you spend pushing through, the silent battles you fight inside your heart, every single one of them is being witnessed and recorded. The people around you may never understand your pain, they may not see the depth of what you carry, but Allah sees it all, and He has promised that nothing is lost. What you go through now will come back to you in ways more beautiful than you can ever imagine. On the day of judgment, people will see the reward for their trials and wish they had been tested even more. They will wish they had endured more, because the sweetness of the reward will outweigh the bitterness of the struggle. That is how generous Allah is. That is how compassionate He is. That is how He transforms suffering into salvation. So when life feels unbearable, remind yourself that this difficulty is temporary, but its reward is eternal. Tell yourself that your patience today is your light tomorrow. Know that your trust in Allah when things seem darkest is your shield on the day of judgment. And remember that every sacrifice you make for Him is building your place in paradise. Do not think for a moment that what you are going through is in vain. Allah is too merciful to let your pain go unrewarded, too just to let your endurance go unnoticed, too loving to let your trust go unanswered. Your trial is your treasure in disguise. What feels like loss now is actually the seed of eternal gain. Hold on tightly to hope, because this storm will pass, and when it does, the lessons you learned, the strength you gained, and the reward you earned will remain. This world is short, but the next is forever. The hardship of a lifetime is nothing compared to the joy of eternity. Your patience will become your bridge to Jannah, your endurance will become your crown, your trust will become your eternal security. So walk through your test with faith in your heart. Even when you feel weak, remind yourself that Allah is turning this pain into light, this struggle into reward, this hardship into ease. What you are carrying now will one day become the very reason you are raised among the successful. And on that day, when you stand before Allah and see what your trials have been turned into, you will know that every tear was worth it, every moment was worth it, every sacrifice was worth it. This life's test is temporary, but the reward it builds is everlasting.